further ado, let me jump into my deal here. My title was Smells Like Money because, in the industry, we say, smells like money. But the question is, does your neighbor think that? And that's probably not the case. So let me jump right ahead and figure out how this thing works. Let's go that way. Nope. That way? Oh, that way. Yeah. What if I go like this? Nope. Like that. Oh, I have an insertion point here somewhere. Now, if I put my glasses on, I could figure out what up and down is on this thing. Hold on. So, down. It's not working. I broke it. Good thing there's only a couple of us here, so you guys can laugh at me or with me. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you're laughing, right? I broke it, brother. I don't know what happened here. It's right here. I've got an insertion point. I don't know if that means it... So I did break it, huh? Does it matter that that's right there? Okay, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit.
That was it.
Oh, okay, good. We fixed it. Okay, so in the cannabis world, of course, we're not that far away from prohibition. That's the fact of the matter. Consequently, a lot of people, when they hear the word cannabis or smell cannabis, all sorts of images come into their minds, and they think about increased crime. They think about, all this stuff and the whole subculture. The fact of the matter is every odorous industry is responsible for the odors they produce, whether it's trash or wastewater or rendering. There's all kinds of things out there. And they all have to address those and answer odor complaints and take care of the problem. But we have an added burden of proof in the cannabis world simply because of the whole prohibition thing. So as I said, it smells like money to us, but when you think of the different strains that are being grown, Hindu skunk, right? Sour diesel, skunk berry, blue cheese. When your neighbor smells these, and if they already have some sort of grudge, if you will, or unforgiveness about cannabis, odor complaints become a real thing. And when odor complaints begin to come in, they're not only a pain in the neck, they're a pain somewhere further south. People have lost their licenses, people have been fined. It gets pretty ugly pretty quickly. So the last thing a cannabis operator wants to have is to deal with regulators because of odor complaints, because of what they're doing. You're just trying to make money, you're trying to build a business, and who needs all that stuff, right? So what can we do about that? And the question is, terpenes are our friends. If you think about all the terpenes that are in cannabis, there's a lot of evidence that there's healthful benefits to those. I mean, there's limonene. Lemons produce those terpenes. Pinene from pine trees. Myrcene from mangoes. Eugenol from cloves. Linalool from lavender. And frankly, we want those in our product. That's part of the sale. The danker it is, the more attractive it is, correct? But once again, if your neighbor doesn't like it, the first and easiest thing for a neighbor to complain about is odor. The second thing is light pollution. So I can't do anything about light for you, but when it comes to odor, I've got the answer for you. Okay, the other thing I want you to know is that terpenes are VOCs. Just spoke with a fellow last week, big extractor in the state here in California, and he just got a $300,000 carbon tax bill. I'm not going to say anything about how unfriendly business-wise California is, but carbon tax is a reality, and we know that VOCs lead to greenhouse gas, lead to ozone depletion, and terpenes are VOCs, folks. I was just in a meeting with the Metro Vancouver people. About 28 or 30 of the biggest names in cannabis in Canada were present because they were drafting regulation about VOCs and how to deal with them. So it's coming. At the show in CannaCon in Detroit we did a month or so ago, met with several regulators there on the air quality side. They're looking at VOC production from cannabis operations. The good news is we just got third-party verification that our product, Cannabusters in this case, oxidizes VOCs. So not only eliminate odor, but we also oxidize VOCs, which is a big deal. Is there a way around all these issues? Here's the other part of the piece. And this is rather humorous because the fact of the matter is, if somebody complains about your odor, the burden of proof is not on your hands, it's out of your hands. And the truth is that odor is very, very subjective. I mean, somebody smells the same thing and somebody else smells the same thing, and, oh, it's horrible. Oh, that's not so bad at all. And so you have that whole complexity into the whole odor question around cannabis. It puts us in a tough spot, frankly. There's all kinds of machinery that they use to measure odor. They got the scent ranger, right? It looks like a pair of binoculars they put on their nose and they dial it in so they can detect a smell. Or there's Centroid capturing clean air and introducing odor to the point where you can begin to smell it and quantify it. But the funniest thing, in spite of all that science, folks, the ASTM standard for detecting odor presence and intensity is a panel of human noses, right? Leading once again to how subjective the sense of smell is. So when you look at cannabis itself, during the clone or mother stage of growth, there's no smell. When you move into veg, a little bit of smell is produced. When you begin to get into flower, now there's a heavy smell. And when you harvest, now you're crushing the leaves and you're handling the plant, the smell just goes through the roof. So how do we address all these things? It's a pretty complex, challenging issue. And what we want to do at the end of the day is be a good neighbor and try to create a good name around cannabis. And odor may be one of the least expensive and easiest ways to do this. And of course, I have the answer, it'll come later. But the ways that people are dealing with it now are, I don't know, where's that? I don't know where it's at. Anyway, carbon filtration, kind of the go-to, right? Everybody says carbon filtration, carbon filtration. The question I would ask is, how long does a carbon filter last? Does anybody know the answer to that? Not very long is a good answer. There's been ideas that, 6 months, sure. Spoke with one outfit doing some grows in Massachusetts. They said the local odor ordinance was so strict that they're recommending a change out every 3 months. So I go, okay. And what's the cost? This is an indoor grow, not a very big one. They said, well, it'll be about $16,000 per change, times 4 times a year. So the way the carbon works, of course, it's very porous and it traps odor particles as air passes through. At some point, it becomes full and can trap no more. They simply pass by. The second thing is that's not such a bad idea on a small grow or an indoor grow. But when you start talking about a greenhouse that needs to do 1 air exchange a minute, there's just no possible way to put that much air through carbon filtration. And even if you could, you couldn't afford to do it, right? The second thing that we can bring to the table and is out there is masking agents. Masking agents are simply fragrances. The funny thing is, as I said, we know all those people, right? From our previous lives in trash and other industries. And you say, well, it's just a fragrance. Oh, no. It's an essential oil. Or it's a botanical extract. You go, no, it's a fragrance. Okay, here's the point. Masking agents simply put a fragrance or a smell on top of a smell in the effort to mask the smell or to hide it. And then you get sort of cherry pot or some combination of smells. The point is they're expensive, they add VOCs, big deal, and they don't work. Then you have people that say, well, I'm an encapsulating agent, which is really cool technology, right? My stuff is going to wrap around every one of those terpene odorous molecules and it's going to get super heavy and drop to the ground. Wow, that's cool. The problem is it's going to de-encapsulate, right? So not only now do you have the fragrance encapsulating the terpene odor, but now you have both of those releasing from where they drop to the ground, and your problem just got worse. And they're adding VOCs. Neutralizing agents, another way that they describe themselves. Again, VOCs. And the word expensive is behind each of those. You notice that? Here's why. Fragrance is freaking expensive. It costs a lot of money to concentrate fragrance down and put it through a misting system or some other way of deploying it to get an odor impact. And then we come to oxidative odor elimination. That's in bold because that's me. And the value that we bring to the table, obviously, is that we eliminate the odor by oxidation. I've got several sample bottles here, and I'd be delighted to show you my little dog and pony show so you see how it works. We eliminate the VOCs along with the odor, and we're very cost effective. And at the end of the day, for the operator, you get peace of mind, which is really what we all want, right? Which brings me to my last slide. Oxidative odor elimination with Cannabusters is the brand. I'm the odor guru. We have a decade of success in other odorous industries, and just take a moment with me and think about a transfer station. Everybody know what that is? So the trash trucks pick up all the bins at all the residences. They come to a big metal building. They dump it all on the big tipping floor to big mountains of trash. And then they push it into a groove where a truck and trailer pulls underneath, and then that stuff is then trucked to a landfill. So let's pick a nice, warm, sunny day in the summertime. You got mountains of rotting trash in the building. Can you imagine the smells that come off of that pile? There are sulfur compounds. There are amines. There are fatty acids. There's mercaptans. And it freaking reeks, folks. What we do with this product in those scenarios, we mist overhead. We mist around the doors, and they're big doors to allow trash trucks to come and go. And with this product, under a different name, they're getting odor reduction to the point that neighbors, and they're always surrounded by businesses and people, are not complaining. That's huge. We're just talking about terpenes in this world, right? A couple, three little things that people find objectionable. We eliminate the odor, we eliminate the VOCs, we do not add any VOC because there is no fragrance. And HAPs, in case you wonder what that means, hazardous air pollutants. We're also safe for people, pets, plants, and the planet, and you'll see that when I do my demo for you. We're the least cost, and finally, we offer peace of mind to the operator around odor. You'll never have to worry about it again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I have for you.